You didn't check our mics.
I think you started already.
Something.
Did you start?
Yes.
Lily talks. Lily, let me look at you because Richard doesn't. You look great.
Yes.
My hair.
I will fix your hair because some of it is long. Oh, they don't brush. Run your hair like this.
Remind me to carry a brush next
I
time.
know, right? Run it like this. Look at.
No, see, my hair doesn't work like that, Lily.
Okay, yeah, because it was a little puffy from
Okay.
here. Yeah.
Sí, siempre se hace
Okay,
así. Es una bola. Desde que me lo quemaron. Okay, Richard, I think now we're ready. OMG, you guys. We're not
Well,
vain.
how cute is that? The
Yes.
Laguna Beach Transit. It's a cute
Oh, yeah, there's like a little tram. Anyway, who are we, Lily?
Who are we? Where are we? Dear gentle reader, because of Bridgerton.
Yes, we're confused.
So dear readers, here we are in Laguna Beach in a beautiful park-like area by the beach. I don't know if you can hear the waves crashing. But we are here because we read the book Beautiful Ugly by Alice Feeney.
We are two gals in a book podcast.
We are.
I'm Araceli.
I'm Lily, and we like to read, and we like to discuss books, and we believe that reading takes you on adventures, and reading this book brought us here by the beach.
Yes.
On a beautiful Saturday afternoon.
Yeah. And we will tell you why or how this book brought us here.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget that while we go through these pages, you learn a little bit about us, and hopefully you also learn a little bit about you.
Yes, definitely. So a quick summary of this book. First of all, can I tell you, right when I started reading it, I could not put it down.
We're hooked.
Very, very. Alice Feeney has a way of writing where you want to keep going. There's twists and awesome twists, right? All the way to the very end. So it was an easy read because it was a genre that I enjoy reading. But to summarize, this book is about a writer whose wife disappears. And a year later, he still hasn't written anything. He doesn't have a home, really. He lives in a motel, and his publisher or agent, sends him to a remote island so he can work on his book. Maybe, if he's there, he can write. And so she sends him off to some island by Scotland, I think, because they're originally in London. But it's purposefully done. He is there for a reason. And as things unravel, secrets come up, and we understand the title of the book, Beautiful Ugly.
And the title and all the subtitles in the book are oxymorons. So I really enjoyed seeing the play with words, as readers and writers. It's always exciting to see that develop as well, right? Not only reading the story that is told, but also seeing how it's told.
Yes.
So it was a joy to read.
Great book to read. And there's a fun little map here to help you keep track of the places on the island.
So we'll start with the edge, right? Because it's on the map, and we purposely came to an edge where we could hear, the ocean waves, because our protagonist is staying in the cabin that is at the edge. And this is what he hears in his moments of solitude and writing. So thank you, Richard, for finding the spectacular spot for us. We're loving it already.
Yes. But I mean, just before we start, you mentioned how every chapter has an oxymoron, right? Starting with the title, but the first chapter is called Happily Married. Is that an oxymoron?
Oh my God, I didn't think about that.
Right? Is it now? Is it
of course it's deliberate.
Right?
Yes.
Happily Married.
So we learn in the first chapter that, it starts with a scene with a couple, our protagonist and his wife, and they're celebrating their anniversary dinner that night. Not
anniversary dinner. He's at home. She's driving home from work.
Yes.
She's a journalist, an investigative journalist, and that's important. And he's waiting at home, waiting for a phone call from his agent. And he's waiting for that phone call that says he's made it to the New York Times bestseller.
Yes, I remember that.
Right, his book. And he's waiting, and he's like calling her, like, you said you were going to be here. And you wonder, like, why does she need to be there? Well, because she said, I'll be there when you receive the call. That way they can celebrate.
One of them picked up dinner. Was it him?
She did. She was on his way.
So the reason I got confused was because it was a special dinner for them as a couple, right? Which was the fish and chips.
Fish and chips and champagne. That's how they celebrated big occasions is what they mentioned. Yeah. So we had fish and chips a few weeks ago.
Yes. to honor them.
Yes,
and the
because we
story.
were going to start reading this book.
So at the beginning, you know, I guess we're questioning, right? How happily married are they, right? I mean, it appears to be that they're happily married. She's coming home to him. They're having their symbolic meal together.
Yes.
To celebrate or in anticipation of what he thinks is going to be good news from his publisher.
Yeah, so we think they're happily married because, you know, she's a well-known investigative journalist. It sounds like he's doing well with his writing, and so they're just going to get together and celebrate this New York Times bestseller. That's how it starts. But quickly, we know that she stops the car because she sees a woman on the road, on the side of the road, and she's like, I need to stop and take care of her. And he said, don't, just come home. And she says, but what if it was me? You would want somebody to stop by and take care of me. And that is Abby. Her name is Abby. He is Grady. His name is Grady Green. I don't know if
Green.
If that's if I don't know if that was on purpose, because there's also a character we will soon meet. She wore all green
all the time.
Yes.
We couldn't. We were not. It was not going to happen.
I couldn't look like Kermit the Frog. I could not.
Too much green.
Yeah. So I have the first post. Do you have anything?
I'm on page 19. So.
Okay, so page 3. They're talking about when we first got together, we couldn't keep our hands off each other. If I close my eyes and concentrate, I can still remember the first time she left me touch her. And this is Grady talking about them and their relationship when they first started. It says, keeping the spark alive when you've been married as long as we have isn't easy. I try, but what's important changes as we grow older. At least I think it does. And I just wrote, it's not necessarily a bad thing, right? So it seems like, yes, they're happily married is what they're portraying, but they're also growing apart. Because there's different changes and they're growing older. So, I mean, backstory, Richard and I went to high school together. We never dated then, but we both agree that if we would have started dating in high school, we wouldn't be together now because we were two different people back then, right? So they've been married for 10 years, but it says, but what's important changes as we grow older. And it's true, especially when it comes to careers. So that's just my little tidbit on that. I don't know what we're going.
And it makes us go back to the title of the chapter, right? Happily married. Is there such a thing? Like, I mean, life isn't always happy. Why would a marriage be always happy?
Right.
There's a mix of everything.
Yeah. And I mean, yes, some people are happily married, but is it fair to assume that every single day is happiness, right? Exactly. You gotta be realistic. No, not every day is, because maybe maybe your job puts you in a bad mood, right? And you come home and you're not happy. That doesn't mean you're not happily married. It's just your job did. Anyways, back to this. Page, what do you have?
19.
19, okay.
Grady speaks about grief on page 19. And I'll read what he says to you. And then, I wanted to reflect on what he says. He says, grief is a patient thief and steals far more than people who have never known it realize. So, I never thought of grief in this way, right? Just when you think you're done grieving, it comes back to haunt you. So it was just a different take on what grief means that I wanted to highlight for our listeners.
Yes, and it hits people differently. It depends on, was it a spouse, was it a parent, a pet? That was hard. We both lost a pet, and that was hard. That was really hard. I wrote
20. We're both on 20.
On 20, I think the same thing. So right now, Grady. So we learned already. Abby, his wife, has disappeared. When she gets off to help this woman on the road,
she never comes back to the car.
She never comes back. They're close to home.
And she left the phone on because he insisted that she leave the phone on, but it was in the car.
Yeah.
So he comes running
to track her. Like he knew where she was at. And so finds the car, door open, the fish and chips are on the front seat, and there's a box, like a gift box, I think, with a doll. like an old vintage doll,
Yeah.
and her mouth is sewn shut. Weird.
Yes.
And then that's it. We know nothing of Abby for a whole year, and now so he's still, I mean, is it safe to say grieving? I don't know.
Well, he has no closure. And he also,
Yes.
I mean, what the theory is that she's a journalist, like Lily told us earlier, that she might have written something that someone found offensive, or maybe she was threatened, and so they acted against her. And so that's the going theory this whole year, that she's been missing.
Yes.
That's what we know so far from the beginning of the book.
So he's visiting his agent, Kitty, who's also his wife's godmother. And, you know, she's trying to help him out because I guess there's a contract where he was supposed to have already been starting to write another book, because the one that was a New York Times bestseller, actually, he did get the phone call, and it was a New York Times bestseller. And that's when he calls her, like, hey, I got the phone call. And then she goes missing. And now Kitty's saying, okay, where's the other book? I need to see something. I need to give them something. Otherwise, they want their advance back. And Kitty decides to send him or offer him that option. Like, I have a cabin. It was given to me by Charles Whitaker, another well-known author, who left her, because she was his agent, a house on this island, and said, go, take some time, write, and read what Kitty tells him.
So Kitty says, success is often the result of a series of failures. Try to remember that. You never learn anything from success, but failure can teach you everything about a person, especially yourself. I found that to be, it's not the first time I've read something like that. I mean, we're all happy people, you know, when we're successful. But how do we react to failure, to setback? That really shows you the real core of a person, right? Do you throw a temper tantrum? Do you hide in your room and cry? Or do you just, you know, face the adversity and deal with it? I mean, there's so many other ways you can react to failure. And I have to throw in my 2 cents, because as a teacher, I feel like we're not allowing our youth to fail. And that's part of healthy growth and development.
Resilience.
In resilience and building character. So none of us like to fail.
No.
But it's part of life.
Right?
And all we can do is learn from failure and teach our youngins how to react to it accordingly. So I found that was great advice.
And failure can be in many different shapes. And for example, at work, you know, it can be giving you an opportunity to say, you know what? Maybe I failed in some ways, but you know what? This is the nudge or the push to something else. A great thing.
What do they say? One door closes, another opens?
And it probably wouldn't have happened had that not set it off in motion, right? Great quote. We both had it. So that was that.
You are next, Lily.
Yes, page 22. Grady, and this is the how can I say, the point of view, or the writing is
mostly Grady's point of view, right?
Mostly Grady's, but then Abby, you hear Abby's side, and you're like, whoa, this chapter is about Abby. Abby is writing from 1 week before she disappeared, when she's sitting with her therapist that I don't think Grady knew she was seeing this.
She was seeing this therapist.
And so it was all about Grady was in love with his work. He loved to write. He loved books. He was happiest doing that. And right here, it says, I obsessed over fictional ones. My work became my everything. And I wrote, I can relate. And it's true. Being a kindergarten teacher, you know, some people think that teachers, they clock in, they clock out. No. We take work home, and it doesn't have to be physical work. It's all up here. What do I have to do Monday? What art project am I going to do? What am I going to read? There's always a go.
How do I help this kid? What is this kid throwing? Why is this kid not coming to school? Why is this kid not performing? There's a lot of mental, emotional. So what we learn here through Abby's voice, right, is that they're not as happy as Grady thinks. Right. He's not paying attention to all those cues that his wife is giving him. For him, success is like, I'm publishing a book you know, I'm going to sell it. And for her, success looks very differently. And so we see that disconnect when we go from one chapter to the other.
Yeah. So I wrote, I can relate. However, that was not necessarily a good thing. And I had to stop and think, I don't want it to be everything. I have to find that balance because I need to learn to disconnect. So
here we are balancing.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yes. And so when we started this podcast, we had already established our 2-person book club on our own.
Yes.
Reading books together, meeting up together. You need that person to vent with, and that's okay, right? And because work cannot be everything, and it shouldn't. It shouldn't, right?
It's just not healthy.
No, not at all. No. So that's
36.
I have something on 30. So what is happening here? This chapter is called Awfully Good. So
again, another oxymoron, right?
Yeah, and he's not sleeping well, Grady, because you know he's worried about his wife. He's worried about this book that he still needs to write, and he keeps imagining that he sees her and her red coat. They talk about a red coat because that's what she was wearing when she went missing. It says it's a human affliction to see what we want instead of what is really there. And I wrote, we distort everything to see what we want to see, because sometimes we ignore the red flags, right? We ignore them because we don't want to see reality. We're like, nope, that's not me. That's not in my relationship, right? So I guess my point here is there are red flags for a reason.
Yeah.
And we have to be open to every point of view, not just, nope, I'm going to ignore it. So it's a human affliction. It's normal. We do this to see what we want instead of what is really there. Is that a defense mechanism? Maybe that's our way of our brain protecting us from stuff, right? Yeah. Let us know, dear readers.
Yeah.
Comment below.
Yes, for sure.
Like and subscribe us.
On page 36, in big cities, are we automatically not community minded? So here Sandy is talking to our protagonist, Grady. She is one of the women that lives in the island. She is the sheriff, ferry driver. It seems like people on that island, because there's such a small community, have a lot of roles to fulfill. So she says to him, I hope you're community minded. It's the best way to be. Everyone that can helps to unload the weekly deliveries, which is what you can see happening now. And she goes on telling him about how people in the island help out. And she's basically introducing him to the community. And so that was my question, right? Like, in a big city like where we live, right? Do we help out our communities in the same way that you see in small towns? And it was just kind of a question that I wanted to throw out there. Do we care less? Are we less involved? Are we more individualistic? I'm afraid to say that I believe so.
I agree with you.
Right? So when he arrives to this island, and like Lily said, we see a map at the beginning. You know, it seems like a paradise. One of the things that we see in the map is a lot of trees, which is why I'm wearing my earrings.
Yes.
We've mentioned redwoods before, and they give us a little bit of history here. I don't remember if I put a post-it on it, but someone took seedlings from California to the UK, and they planted these redwoods in this island. It's called the Isle of Amberley. And so there are redwood trees over there as well. So yes, she's giving him an introduction to the island, and it seems like a paradise. You know, it's beautiful. Beautiful. And like she said, everybody's community minded. So, but we know speaking of trees, I'm on page 41.
Oh, yeah, I have something there. But before we get there, so there's a ferry to get into this island. So he has to drive his car. And from London, it was hours away, right? Maybe 6 hours that he had to drive. And he gets there's like well, where's the ferry? Where's the schedule? He had to wait till the next morning.
He slept in his car.
Yes, with Columbo, his dog.
Yes, his dog.
He has a dog named Columbo. And so the next morning, it's a small ferry, and he gets told, you can't put your car on the ferry. You can't take it with you. I was like, well, why can't they? Because they live there. You're a visitor. You are a guest, pretty much. So so he had to get whatever he could to take it with him on this ferry. And Sandy, the driver, takes him, and then he's there. It's like, well, I don't have a ride to the house where I'm going. Yeah. Sandy offers him a ride and tells him, and I can only imagine, right? It's, you hear the waves because it's an island, but also full of green. And they talk about the, did you underline that part? I did.
In the middle of page 41, I think you're before me. Go ahead.
Okay. So it says, Sandy is telling Grady a little bit of history, how Agnes Amberley, who was, she brought some samplings back from a voyage across the Atlantic and planted them there. And it says, people rarely know what they have until they lose it. They spend their lives searching for a better one, wanting more, needing more, blind to the fact that they already had it all. I think sometimes it's only when something gets taken from a person that they appreciate what they had. Agnes spent almost her entire life in search of the perfect place to call home before understanding it was here all along. And I just wrote, why is it that human nature, why is it, human nature is to want more, to want better? Why can't we just be happy and content with what we have already in front of us?
And we have so much.
We do have, we actually are very, very lucky to be here in California, where we have the beach. We have the mountains.
Everything we've shown you so far in this podcast is California based. Well, we did,
except for Puerto Vallarta, which was only like almost 3 hours away. On flight. But we are happy that we are here locally, and right now he is on his way to this house called The Edge.
Yes. So further along in that same page, I wanted to elaborate on the imagery with the trees. So they give us a little bit of history about the island. Remember, the island is named Agnes, Isle of Agnes, I think. Yeah, the Isle of Amberley. Sorry. Yeah. So she talks about Agnes Amberley and how she was ahead of her time. She understood how important trees were to the future of the planet and the future of us. But the men in charge back then didn't listen. Those in charge of things today still don't. You soon learn, living in a place like this, that we're all connected. Trees grow down as well as up. And I think it's the same with people. The more we grow up, the more we learn to feel down. Do you know what I mean? So I ask you, do you know what she means? Right? It's beautiful the way she poses this analogy between us humans and the trees, right?
Yeah.
The growth, the physical growth from a child to a grown human, and also the growth, the interior growth, right? Where we lay our roots.
So we don't see roots.
We don't see that. Yes.
Yeah. But they should be the strongest, because that's what's holding this tree up.
Another thing she says about trees, she says, some trees shed their leaves and lose almost everything every year, but then they grow again, side by side. People could learn a lot from trees. So I thought that was nice too, right? The shedding process, the loss, and the regrowth. It's human nature. Why do we fight it?
Why is it hard to?
Yes. Why is it hard for us to pick back up
and let go of things
and prepare for the new growth, right?
I love that.
It's a beautiful metaphor. Yes. It's a beautiful metaphor. Yes. We
50s, you have something.
44. Yes, Lily? Here in this page, we learn about the sisters. And if we take a look at the map, the sisters live on the house on the hill, which is a castle-like structure that is very strange and looks very out of place, according to Grady, who's a new arrival. So Sandy, who so far is the first person on the island that he's met, tells him that she lives with his sister and her mother in this castle and is inviting him over for dinner. And she says, my sister can't cook to save her life, but she does like to try, and the world loves triers. So I identified with the sister because I'm not the greatest cook, but I am a trier. I always say,
good.
you won't die of hunger in my
You
house.
won't. Oh, that's nice. That's
Yes.
nice. Well, you
Right, right. So there's the part where you learn a little bit about me.
Yeah.
Yes.
You
I won't.
cook.
I'm not as bad as her. It was Madge, right?
Yeah,
My
yeah.
sister?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Madge or
Okay.
Midge or something like that.
So in the upcoming chapter, you know, passive aggressive, I think that's an oxymoron.
Oh no, that one's definitely maybe.
Yeah. This one, passive
Oh,
aggressive.
you're there. Yeah.
I think it's an oxymoron we hear a lot, right? And
Yes.
think, you know, about what it means, right?
Yes, correct.
So and then in the following page, on page 47, the topic of failure is mentioned again on page 47. This is Kitty again, right? Talking to Grady. It's the not giving up that separates the winners from the losers. Another great way to put it, right? The loser will quit. I failed. I'm done. The winner will keep going. Will not take no for an answer. How badly you want it, right?
Yeah.
Page 50?
Page 50.
On page 50, the topic of addiction is mentioned. And my question to you, dear reader, and to you, Lily, is what are we addicted to? Everyone is addicted to something because we all need a form of escapism. And alcohol is my drug of choice. This is Grady speaking. He talks about he drinks privately, but he recognizes that it's an addiction. My escapism is books, honestly.
Yeah.
That's why I read so many. I have a lot to escape from, I guess.
This is us learning about Araceli.
A lot about Araceli in this case. Yes, reading. And that's a healthy out. Like
Absolutely.
Alcohol obviously is not, which is what Grady identifies as his addiction. But, you know, reading.
But he does it on his own. So that just tells you how much time he has spent.
Another positive out or a form of escapism for him is writing. He says that he would write and journal, and he finds a message that is scribbled let me trace back a bit. He arrives to the cabin where he's going to stay at, which is on the edge, right? And so he's settling in, and he finds a message that is scribbled in black biro. The only way out is to write. So he thinks it's an odd thing to find on the desk of an author. He says he's confused, right? Was that message there left for him? Or was that message it's just a coincidence?
Yeah.
The former owner, who is now dead of the cabin, had there to motivate himself. So my advice to you, which is, I've said this before, and previous podcast, is, you know, try to pick up some journaling, some writing. It definitely does help to exorcise your demons. On page 51, Grady says, maybe I could live on the island and never have to see or speak to anyone ever again, surrounded by books and writing my own. I just said same.
I thought
it was very tempting.
That's not a bad thing.
It's not such a bad thing, living on an island, this beautiful cabin, because he did say he expected this ugly cabin, and he finds that it's very modernized and comfortable. And it's got like this big glass wall facing the ocean. I mean, it sounds
it was
heavenly.
Constructed for the previous author, right? Charles Whitaker. So if this person kind of fixed it up and made it for that, and you're walking into it, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But yes, and we learned that as he's going through it, he sees some wooden floorboards, and he's looking under, and he picks up a loose floorboard, and he finds small bones in the shape of a hand.
Creepy.
Very creepy. So there's your creepy element. And along with that, he finds a book. The script, right? Written by Charles Whitaker, and it's titled Book 10, a book that was never published, or the public doesn't even know that this book is out there. I feel like he not only likes to write, but he also likes to read. Yeah. So do you have anything? I have something on 57.
No, I'm 70s for me.
Okay. So he so we learned that he finds this script, and then it goes back to Abby. and she's with the therapist or the counselor there, and she's talking about how they met. And they met on an airplane. Maybe 10 years before, right? Because they've been married for 10 years, maybe? I don't remember, but it was definitely over a decade. And he pretty much says, "You're in my seat." And she says, "No, I'm not. I travel a lot. I know how to." And sure enough, she was right. He was wrong. And then when somebody else went to sit next to her, he said, "Well, can I sit next to my friend?" And she's annoyed because he's not her friend. But he's trying to make conversation with her. Like, "What do you do?" She doesn't answer. He says, "Oh, I'm a writer." And so, it says over here, she says, "What do you do?" he asked. And when I didn't reply, he said, "I'm a writer." And right there it says, "And those were the words that changed everything because writers were my rock stars." It was those perfect words that he said that started this relationship. And I just wrote,
there are rock stars too.
Yes, I wrote mine too. Yes. Because of these writers.
Yes.
Their imagination, their creativity is why we're here. So shout out to every author, published author, not published author, who has the courage to put something on paper.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes. It takes great skill.
Yes, not every
imagination, discipline. I mean, if we're doing shout outs, I have to name my daughter.
That's
who is following, who's working on her books.
Okay, so there we go. So maybe one day we will record something about her.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you are an author, if you're following us, if you want us to have a chat with you, we would love to have you.
Yes, we would love to have one of you here. Yes. To talk to us about the writing process.
I would love that.
Yes, I would. Because we have our thoughts, but I always wonder, are we aligned with the thoughts that the author had when they originally wrote the book? And that's the beauty of writing and art in general, right? That I think it outgrows its author because the more people read it, we all have interpretations, and sometimes it might be totally off the original intention. But I think authors love that. That's where masterpieces come into play, where you keep reading more and more into the story. But let's go back to this.
Yes.
I'm still in the 70s, Lily.
Oh, we're in the 70s? Yes, we can go to the 70s.
Okay. So on page 73, Grady talks about how he is very uncomfortable in social situations with people that he does not know, and he finds that stressful and uncomfortable. And he says that parties are his ideas of hell. And I said, again, same. For the record, you can invite me to parties, but I feel like more comfortable in small group settings. That's just me. So I felt that a lot of the things that Grady identified with, I also identified with. On page 75, there's a fun fact about birds. Birds are also very, let me just read it. At the end of the page, it says, "I think birds might be smarter than people. They're certainly more loyal. Did you know that 90% of bird species have the same partner for life? Not like humans. And unlike people, birds know when they're not welcome and when to stay away." So isn't it, if I recall correctly, didn't they scare away a certain species of bird from this island? And
there are no birds there.
So is it no birds at all? Or is it certain birds?
It says there, soon all birds were getting shot regardless of what they were. But when they were all dead, the trees recovered and the crops started to grow again. Problem solved. The next season, new birds came to the island and they were killed too. Mother Nature has a way of warning her children, and somehow the birds learned not to come back. There hasn't been a famine since. Or any birds.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah. So, yeah, he said, the birds know. Don't come.
Yeah.
We don't want you here.
Yeah, they sense it. They're going to get shot.
76, the chapter is titled, another oxymoron, small crowd, right? And it's referring to the population on the island, obviously. And at the beginning of the chapter, we see the cons of living on an island, right? There are no phones, no internet, no social media, no news apps, no cinemas, no museums, no art galleries. Being this cut off from society and culture must have an impact. So he's thinking of what kind of people he's going to be socializing with, because they don't have access to any of these things. And I have to say that, right, although I was kind of kidding when I said I wouldn't mind living on an island, I would miss all these things as well.
Yeah.
Right? we get to have the best of both worlds. On page 79, I just wanted to mention why I'm wearing tweed. If you can see my skirt. Everybody on this island wears tweed, or most people, right? We mentioned the sisters in the castle. Like one of the sisters wears it all the time. And all the decor, you know, in the house also is mostly tweed. And then Lily was just telling me that the literary agent also wears a lot of tweed. And at the end, we kind of see why a lot of the inhabitants on this island wear tweed. But they tell us that one of them had a fabric or that fabricated, right? This type of
that's outdated.
Yes, exactly. And it also dates them, right? So yeah, and you know, a lot of weird, we were talking about what does it mean to be weird earlier, right, Lily?
Yeah.
Like, you know, why do we think they're weird? Because they have everything decorated in tweed.
Yeah.
But point is that it was strange when we read it. But what is symbolism behind that?
Midge. Her name is Midge.
Midge. That is Sandy's sister.
Sandy's sister. And you know they have their mom also makes a cameo in appearance. She leaves the room and she's obviously older than they are, but Grady does seem to see her. I don't know if he has a conversation with her. I don't remember. However,
they do have a couple of interactions, but they're very brief and weird. He finds that she's a very strange woman. Like almost like she's trying to warn him, but he's not quite understanding what she's trying to say.
And speaking about weird, he has gone to the little shops. There's a little convenience store. There's he'll end up at a church, but everybody knows who he is. You're the author.
And they all carry walkie-talkies.
They all carry walkie-talkies. His cell phone does not work. There's no signal.
And he, along with us, as we're reading, are starting to notice that it's all women.
Yes.
So we're like, is this by design or is this a coincidence?
Well, to be fair, I still haven't gone. Like, my brain did not take me there yet.
Okay.
It did not.
Yeah, process the fact that it was all women.
That is still all women, right? So, yes, walkie-talkies, cell phones don't work. There's a phone booth that doesn't work, but it rang one time and he answered it and he heard something. The little weird things are happening, but people know who he is. And like in my mind, I was thinking, well, is there a camera in his cabin that people know who he is? So weird. And he's trying to get a hold of Kitty, his agent, but doesn't know how because there's no phone line to call her. And I think by now he's like excited about this book that he found because what if nobody knows about it? What if I write it to say mine,
claim it as my own, because he's having a writer's block
for a year.
So and he's really broke. We didn't talk about how broke he is, right?
Well, he lived in a motel, I think I mentioned.
He lost he lost his home. He really has just his car and the stuff in his car. So
he's on the mainland.
He's desperate to make some money to get back on his feet. So.
And Kitty gave him a nice check to survive. But that's going to run out if there's nothing coming in.
If there's nothing coming in and a lot going out.
Yeah.
Quite work out like that. Okay, 135.
So I have something on page 99. So Sandy drops him off because they had gone to dinner. I think it was this time. And then when he gets home, he sees an envelope. And the envelope is an article. And as he's reading it, it's an article that was written by his missing wife. And remember, she's an investigative journalist, and this is about a woman freed after 30 years in prison. And this is the first article that he finds in the cabin. First article because there's going to be more. That someone is slipping under his door so he can see. And part of the article says, a woman is killed by a man every 3 minutes in the UK. And yet when a woman tries to defend herself, she is the one who loses her freedom. Our justice system is broken. Coraline did what she did to protect herself from a man the police failed to protect her from. And she lost everything as a result. So it's exaggerated. It really, it's not every 3 minutes, but I looked it up because I like to do my fact.
Lily's our researcher.
Check, and it is every 3 days or
so too many women being
exactly. And this is not just in London. This is a global problem. As I'm reading this, I read the word Coraline, and I'm like, Coraline, wait, Cora.
Yeah, Cora, the one that wears all green.
Cora, who is the owner of the little shop, right? She's the one that wears all green. And this is an article about Cora talking about how she went to jail for killing a man, and now she is free
and living on this island.
The article doesn't say it, but we're putting it together because Coraline is
because we're smart.
Because we're smart that way.
Because we read books.
So you should read books.
So yes.
Or listen to us. I don't know.
Yes, we're starting to put some pieces together here. Like, oh, okay, you know. But we're still wondering who is leaving, because we're going to see more envelopes being delivered.
Yes.
To his home at the cabin, and with this type of journalism, and we're wondering who's leaving them there.
Yeah.
And why? To what point?
So. And who knows that the author of these articles are his missing wife?
Yeah.
Because that's a mystery too.
Yeah, they have all been written. Thank you for adding that, by his missing wife.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, wait, these people know who I am and know that she's my missing wife. So on the next page, 101, it says, hope can be just as devastating as despair. So he is holding on to this hope, right? That he's going to find his missing wife alive. But also, it can be despair, because what if she's dead? I thought it was a great... and the name of that chapter is called Innocent Criminal. Innocent criminal.
Well, and let's analyze what that means, right? People kill. Some people kill, because they don't have a choice, and I guess that's what it's trying to say. In her case, that was her. She did it in her innocence. I don't know. Oxymorons always fascinate me. That's why I was so excited to see that pattern.
Yeah.
Because it must have been very challenging for Alice Feeney to, or maybe it wasn't. I don't know. But, to play with these words.
Yeah.
To sew this story together, right? And to have it all make sense at the end.
I'm looking,
excited, as you can tell.
And I don't know. Alice Feeney, if you're listening to us, look at the cover. It's ripped, and it's supposed to be the shape of a heart, is what I read. But the L's on both words are facing the wrong direction.
Yes.
Why?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It just...
The F, the L, the F as well is turned the other direction. Yeah. I guess we're not that smart. We didn't figure out that puzzle.
So if anybody has...
We have been humbled. Yes. Put it on the comments if you know why
on the comments.
These letters are facing the other way.
Yeah. So, and on page 106, and I think this is still Grady, because he's pretty much the narrator here. He walks out of his cabin right on the edge, and he's like hearing the water. It's late at night, and he said, the night sky here is so clear, and the stars are so much brighter than I have ever seen them anywhere else. It's strange to think that this spectacular night sky is always above us. Wherever we are, we're all just too busy looking down to remember to look up. And my message to you is, stop and look up. And look up every once in a while.
And a lot of people literally walk with their heads down. You're like staring at the floor, staring at your phone.
Yes.
Just look straight, look around, look up. Look at those trees up there, Lily. Aren't they cool?
And
they're facing the sun.
Yeah. They're like...
They're palm trees, and they're like twisted. And we noticed it as soon as we walked in.
Yeah.
They are looking towards the sun. They're following the sun.
Yeah. And so just cool. In general, not just up, but like when we came, we were looking for a location. We sat here, Richard was parking, and there's a little rabbit, and we're just staring at the rabbit and just looking at nature. It was so nice to see.
Yeah.
Pay
attention to the world around us.
Yes. I have something on page 112.
Go ahead.
And so he's exploring the island. He doesn't have a way. He actually, I don't know if he already found the car. Sandy tells him, oh, Charles had a Jeep or a Range Rover, I think, somewhere in the... Anyway, so he ends up going to meet... he goes into church, a little chapel, and he meets Reverend Melody Bates, again, a woman. And yet I still haven't put it together, right? And I just, and something that I didn't know, I'm not Catholic, but did you know there's a patron saint for writers?
So there's saints for for lots of things.
Yes.
I am
Lucy.
sometimes a Catholic.
Yeah.
So yes, I might get heat for that. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. I should be a better Catholic. But yes, there's a lot of saints, and I did not know there was a saint for writers. So I have to start praying to this saint for my daughter.
Saint Lucy is a patron.
Yes.
Saint of writers, and the island has always been a haven for creative souls. So this is a saint that they
have embraced in this little island because they've had so many. What do they call them? Resident writers.
Resident writers, struggling artists.
And I don't know if I'm correct, Lily. I don't know why I remember this. I think the island is so small; it's like a 5-mile radius.
Yes,
right.
Yes.
So technically, you could walk it.
Yeah, you could walk it.
Yeah, it's not tiny.
Yeah, bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not easy walking, but it's
really beautiful walking.
Yes,
maybe I don't know.
They say that it's very tough terrain to navigate, but it's not a large island.
So speaking of religion, it says this one is called Devout Atheist.
Oh, which chapter?
The next one.
Page what?
Yeah, 117.
Thank you.
And he's looking at the cemetery because they have a little cemetery, and Charles Whitaker has a headstone there, and it says, "Go away, I'm still writing." Loved by all, known by none, alone at last. It's almost like that's what
more contradictions, right?
Yeah.
Everybody loves you, but nobody knows you. How can they love you if they don't know you?
Yeah.
Right. Crazy.
Yeah. And he's alone at last. Like that's what he wanted. And so he's talking about here saying, I'm not religious, more of a devout atheist, but I sometimes wish that I had faith. I believe that when we're gone, but that doesn't mean I don't respect other people's beliefs. And first of all, I feel like he's having this inner conflict. Like, I wish I had faith. So I was, asking myself, like, what keeps him from having faith? Maybe he didn't grow up knowing faith. Maybe nobody has introduced him to it. But I like that he said, I don't respect, but that doesn't mean I don't respect other people's beliefs. I feel like if we all respected each other's beliefs, we would live in a better world. Humanity itself would be better. But things happen because of the lack of respect.
Exactly. Well stated, Lily.
Thank you.
135?
I have something on page 131. Clap. Yay. So Sweet Sorrow is called, and this is Abby again talking about, Abby paints not Charles, Grady as an introvert, someone, all he wanted to do was write. He worked from home, and there was one day that they went to a friend's birthday party. And the minute he walked in, he put on this charm. Maybe he drank, or maybe, he started dancing, and there were girls that were like, "Oh, you're a writer." And she didn't like that. She was a bit jealous because he was giving these women attention
that he wasn't giving her.
Yes, exactly.
She felt neglected.
Yes. And does that have to go with, okay, they're happily married, but are they in a rut? Because, it's everyday life,
Well, it's almost like she wanted to see more of that Grady in their marriage, and that's not what she was getting. Yeah. And why was he performing for these women?
Yeah.
And why couldn't he do the same for her?
Yeah. And on their way there, I felt like I was reading a child throwing a tantrum. He didn't want to go. He didn't want to be there. He was doing it for her. But then the minute he got there, he was fine and happy.
He had more fun than her.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And so on the next page, it talks about, so they went to her friend's party, and it says she owned this amazing townhouse in Notting Hill, and was always hosting extravagant parties. There would be caterers with trays full of expensive looking canapes and endless champagne, and even hired a string quartet once. It was as though she needed the world to think she was happy, even though she wasn't. It's almost like she's putting on a show, a performance of happiness. And we talked about defense mechanism, and I feel like that's her way of defending or protecting herself.
And you know what, even not just her, like in society, is that what people do? I mean, we've talked about this before. What you put on your posts,
on social media.
Is it about who's having more fun, who's happier, and how much truth is there to that?
Yeah. And the question is, for who and for what?
Yes, for who and for what.
I feel like it's more now because of social media. It's easier to just put up something, but now you've got to question: is it AI? Right? Because now AI, you're heading to the falseness, I guess, if that's a word. I don't know, but I just thought, and the fact that she said, she needed the world to think she was happy, even though she wasn't. As her friend, she knew she wasn't. So who is she fooling? Yeah. Right? Yeah. So
135. I love this quote on sadness. This is still no, I'm trying to remember who's speaking. I think it's Grady now. Sadness can consume a person.
Abby.
Is it Abby?
Abby, because she's with her therapist.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Abby says, or maybe the therapist says, somebody says, sadness can consume a person if it is allowed to linger too long. It takes root and buries itself inside a person's soul until every thought is too heavy, too painful to think. And it felt like we had lost the version of us that knew how to be happy. We're still together, but I have never felt so alone. So this is
Abby.
Abby talking about her marriage to Grady. So
to Abby, to her therapist.
To her therapist. And yes, how sad, these marriages that are people are still in these marriages. You're physically together, but you feel so alone.
But yet other people think you're happily married.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. You don't know. And I wonder how many people say, oh, I wish I had their marriage, right?
And it's not what it looks like.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. This one is called Big Baby. So they don't have kids. And Abby's talking about she wants a child. But early on, Grady has told her, I don't want kids. And so Abby folded her arms across her chest. And this is, because it goes back. And it says, if it was something you wanted, we would find a way. But I don't want a child. I've been honest about that since we met, long before we got married. Think about the world we live in. Humanity is broken. You write about that fact every day. Why would you want to bring a child into this world? Children are expensive and high maintenance, and they don't come with an off switch. None of our friends with kids are happy, and they all look permanently exhausted. I just thought it was pretty.
But that argument too, right? Yes, but also, so what is the solution? Be childless, and you will be happy.
Yeah,
I mean, because they're not.
They're not happy.
So.
And some people think, if we have a child, that's going to fix our marriage.
Yes, that is true. People have babies to fix their marriages.
And we know that didn't happen. That doesn't happen.
Some marriages that have crises do that, right? To save their marriage.
Because like he said, they look permanently exhausted. So it's the financial toll. It's exhaustion. And it's cute in the beginning, but then they grow up and start talking back. And, parenting skills, if they don't match, there's problems.
Yes.
Finances, there's problems.
Yes.
So
parenting is definitely a theme that we explore on several of the books that we've read. On page 140, still on the topic of having children, having a baby doesn't always mean unconditional love and happy families. This is what Grady is telling Abby. She didn't answer straight away. She was quiet, which was always the most dangerous part of any argument we had, because it meant she was planning her next attack. Now, this is Grady telling Abby, right, that having children, again, will not mean happiness, which is what you were saying earlier, right? And my question was, what do we think about this? Which we already shared our thoughts. Right?
Yeah.
It's a lot more complicated than that, right? It depends on the couple. It depends on the children.
Yeah, exactly.
Depends on, there's a lot of factors.
Yeah, and the fact that it says, like he mentioned, I told you when we met, I didn't want children. But yet 10 years later, I think it's 10 years, she's bringing it up again. And we talked in the beginning how people grow, right? There's change in the relationship. So that's where I felt like they're growing apart, because now she's feeling like she wants a child. He doesn't. And where's a happy medium there?
Well, and let's say, they agreed they weren't going to have children initially when they got married. So is she not allowed to not have this want just because she entered a verbal agreement with her spouse at the time? So before we move on, Lily, on page 141, I wanted to mention, and I think there'll be more of this in the following pages, but one of the factors also in their situation is that they both have traumatic childhoods, right?
Yeah.
One of them says, I don't want to hurt a child the way my parents hurt me or the way your parents hurt you. You think a child will make you happy, but it won't. So this is them still having this conversation as a couple, right? We find out that they both were hurt by their parents. So that definitely has an influence on their decision to not be parents themselves. They feel like they will inflict that trauma on their potential children.
Yeah, yeah.
And does that mean you will? Just because you had it?
Exactly.
I mean, we know, because science has proven that as well, that sometimes it does, but sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, you don't know.
You know, it could go both ways.
Yeah, yeah.
159, the chapter called Minor Miracle. So again, I love these oxymorons. Here we see a metaphor that I enjoyed, or that I just liked how it's stated. It's on guilt. Guilt is such a sticky emotion. You can't wash the damn thing off. I love the way that he expressed it, right? And here I think he's talking about the possibility of having lost his dog, Columbo, because he can't find him anywhere. But yes, I agree. The feelings of guilt are definitely sticky. They won't go away. You can't shake them off.
Yeah.
169.
By this time, we already see another article.
Go ahead if you remember what it's about.
I don't remember what it's about, but it's the headline.
Title, look at the title.
Women have had enough. And this is by Abby, and it talks about a Me Too movement.
So we are starting to see a pattern in terms of the stories, the cutouts of newspaper clippings that are being left at in his cabin, which, by the way, how are they getting in?
Yeah.
Right? So that's also a question he has.
That's the third article, yeah.
And all these articles are written by a woman about women in precarious situations. So yes, that's so far the pattern that we've identified.
Yeah, and he wrote the last sentence here, or the two, it says, she had a habit of upsetting the wrong kind of people. She put herself in danger, and I can't help thinking I might be in danger now too. And it goes back to what you said in the beginning. Maybe she wrote something that upset the wrong person, and that is why she has gone missing. So we know now that he is gonna send the manuscript, or the one that he wrote, changed it.
Yeah, well, the one that he found, he kind of eased his guilt by adding his voice to the narration. So he's kind of saying, well, technically it's mine because I didn't turn it in just the way I found it. Changed it up. I made it better. He keeps telling himself that to ease his conscience and his sticky guilt he can't shake off. Page 169, another metaphor that I liked. The world always looks more beautiful at night when the darkness hides everything that is ugly. I just thought, sometimes we see darkness in, I'm going to use another oxymoron, in a negative light. Darkness here is shown as something positive, right? And it also, for those people that are afraid of the dark, right, it shifts perspective, I think. Further down on the page, on 169, people can be so terrible to each other. I thought I could help people fix things. I thought I could change the world if I became a journalist. So this is, again, Abby, right? Why do we do, my question was to you, Lily, and to our readers, why do we do the jobs that we do? What is our purpose? Are we trying to fix people, quote unquote, right? And is that even possible? And it's, I just felt her frustration here. I see it. People being terrible to each other. I think we see it daily. Yeah. And it's so frustrating. And maybe we are terrible to other people and we just don't know it either. So it was a moment for me to reflect, right, on people and why they are terrible and how can we fix it. And I guess it's just one of those big questions that don't have easy answers. Yeah. Yeah. But for sure, at least we are having a conversation about it. Yeah. And that's what discussing these books is about, right? Acknowledging the problem. That's the start. Yeah, exactly. 172. Yes. I laughed when I saw the play of words here. So Grady goes to the pub, and at this pub on the island, they don't call it happy hour. They call it sad hour. So I thought that was funny, right? That they said it makes more sense to call it sad hour because people show up to drown their sorrows by drinking. So it says, but some people don't like to drown them. They like to swim in them. Yes, you're just kind of sitting there, lingering on this problem that you might have. So again, a time of reflection, right?
And a bartender is a woman.
A woman as well. Yes. On page 173, at this point I have noticed, right, or I have observed that all the women that live here have been victims of a crime. And I'm also wondering what is up with this tea that they keep giving Grady because he is insomniac now. He is restless. He is being gaslit. He's questioning his reality. He's hearing things, seeing things. So I'm thinking, okay, is this tea some kind of a hallucinogenic? So it was for me, again, right, the red flag I see as a reader. Yeah. What is up with this tea and what is up with these women? Yeah. How did they all end up here? Because they have all been victimized in some way.
And we're learning from the articles that are still being placed under his doorstep. And different names too, where we're like, but you can still connect it. It's
not so different that we can't figure it out.
Yeah.
Because like we said, we're smart.
Yes, we are.
On page 186, grief is mentioned again. And I always, with big words like this, it's nice to see an author attempt to capture in words big feelings like that. Grief is like a fingerprint, different every time. Mine is not like yours and you are not like me, but I doubt that is within your spectrum of understanding, she says. So I agreed with this. You said it earlier, right? We all carry grief differently. Yeah. And so the fact that it's a fingerprint and it looks different for everyone, that was a great analogy in my opinion. 195?
Yes. Okay, so 191.
What is the title of this chapter name?
This one is Guilty Pleasure.
That's another one we use a lot.
Pleasure, yes.
Right, guilty pleasure.
Yes.
Like eating a tub of ice cream, for example. Anyway, go on. Sorry.
He goes to the shop, and Cora is the one, the one that wears green, and she gives him a brown paper bag, and there's a Kit Kat in there for whatever reason. Just maybe that's the guilty pleasure. The dog.
He likes Kit Kat. So she kind of throws one in there for him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So guilt. It says right here, chocolate has been one of my guilty pleasures, but there's also.
But it has to be dark.
Oh, dark chocolate. And there's a note, a letter from Kitty. He hasn't gotten a call from Kitty, and it says, and it was postmarked a week ago. And it says, "Dear Grady, I'm sorry not to be telling you this in person. I've tried calling, but your phone just goes to voicemail. I hired a private investigator when Abby disappeared. I never told you about it then because there was nothing to tell, but now they've uncovered something rather unpleasant. I think it's best not to go into detail in a letter, but I fear not everyone on the island is who they say they are. Please call me as soon as you can." But we know he can't call her, right? He says, "I can't call her. I can't call anyone." So he's like, and he's in the middle of a fog, right? He's driving the Land Rover, I believe. And he has Columbo there. And he hits a woman on a bike. He hits a woman on the bike. And then as he gets off to see, he says, "The woman lying on the road is my wife."
And we're also really confused. Because he keeps seeing her, and we're like, is it her? Is it not her?
Yeah.
Or is he crazy? Are we crazy?
And so that's when I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to keep going, right? Yes. So the next one is called Found Missing. But as he approaches her, she looks like his wife. Different eye color, though.
Yes, that was the weird thing.
Yeah, it was different eye color. And at one point I thought, oh, maybe she has a twin sister.
Yeah. And then we think, as he's thinking this, she has insomnia, she hit her head.
Yes.
She is not showing any signs of recognition.
Yeah.
But before you go on, Lily, I had a fun fact on insomnia.
Okay.
Because we did tell you that he's been suffering from insomnia. And we know that insomniacs are not 100% there. Yeah. Like your attention span, you're distracted, you're irritable.
Yeah.
So I know of about 3 or 4 people that are insomniacs. So I found this interesting. I'm going to read this to you. Long-term long-term insomnia can cause permanent damage to a person's brain.
Really?
And in extreme cases, death. Confusion and paranoia are early warning signs of the mind starting to unravel. My doctor said he'd had insomniac patients who had seen the faces of dead relatives. Some had entire conversations with people who were not there. They even heard other people talking, insisted that they were in the room. What if that's what it is? A hallucination as a result of grief, stretch, and extreme stress and extreme exhaustion. So this is Grady, questioning that he just saw his wife, like you said.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to point out, that he's very self-aware.
Yeah. And he's like, it's me, Grady. And she's like,
What are you? I don't know you, guy, and you just
about?
hit me.
Yeah. Yeah.
with your car.
Yeah, exactly. And so he gives her a ride to her pottery shop. He puts the bike, right? And wants to take her to a doctor. And she says, a doctor only visits on Tuesday. And he says, she looks like my wife. She sounds like my wife. She's my wife. But she keeps saying, I don't know you. And she even said, cute dog. But then he's thinking, well.
And he also wonders why the dog doesn't recognize her.
Right?
The dog, that was their dog.
Yeah. And then they go to her shop. She has a pottery shop because she does pottery, but it's right by the beach. And his mind's like, but she hated the water. So maybe it's not her. It can't be her. She wouldn't come on a ferry here because she did not like the water. There was some trauma, right?
With water.
Yeah, but she hates the ocean. So he's questioning could it be her? She even gives him her card to the pottery, right? The picture is there. She reaches for a mug. I think she was gonna get some coffee for them, and he sees that she has a tattoo on her wrist, and it says Lakesh. And it says Lakesh. She says, as though I should know what it is. It means my other self. I'm sorry now that we're standing face to face. Do you look familiar? Have we met before? That right there was a clue, I think. Yeah. And her shop is called Beautiful Ugly. That was her shop. That was the name of her shop. Uniquely yet beautiful, functional pottery inspired by the sea. And again, he says Abby hates the sea. She introduces herself as Aubrey. Aubrey, not Abby. And then
before
right here,
you go on, is it 207 that you're at?
Yes.
Go ahead, Lily.
We're at the same one. So right now they're at the pottery shop. At first she was a little turned off by him again, right, when they met. But now she's having conversations with him, and she says, we live in a world filled with hate and hurt. These are dark times, but there is still love and light if you look for it. Everyone you know is capable of being both good and bad. And one man's right is another man's wrong. We have built a society that places far too much importance on a phony idea of beauty and perfection. The world is full of people behaving like clones, all trying to look, sound, and be the same. Too busy constantly comparing themselves to each other on tiny screens to see the bigger picture. I've accepted that I can't change the world, but I do believe that uniqueness is something to be celebrated, not feared or frowned upon. Life is beautiful and life is ugly, and we have to learn to live with both sides of the same coin and see the light in the darkness.
And she talks about the world being beautiful, ugly, relationships, love. It's true. We just want the good parts, but there's also the bad parts. I also wanted to remind the reader that Beautiful Ugly is on the other extreme of the island, from where he lives. He's on the edge. That's what it's called. So he's on one end of the island, and Abby's, now we know, right? House is on the other end of the island.
And now it's like, okay, this is why I felt like I've seen my wife, because he even thinks that he saw her at the ferry when he first went. So he's like, is it me? Is my mind playing tricks on me? But now he knows, okay, I did see someone who I thought was my wife, but is not. So Abby, on this chapter called Bittersweet, still talking to her therapist.
On page 209
or 210. It starts off with, have you told anyone else that you want to leave your husband? She talks about her therapist or the counselor as the woman in black. She doesn't have a name, I don't think.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, right?
That's how she sees her therapist.
Yeah, because she was talking about...
objectified.
What if I never meet someone who can... And the fear of leaving him. What if I never meet someone who can make me that happy again? Because we were happy before. Nobody has ever made me happier than he did. but nobody has ever made me feel this sad either. Is being with someone who used to love you better than being alone?
I think, you know, I just wanted to point out that perhaps many people stay in relationships because of the reasons that Abby gives us, right? They're afraid that they won't find anything better.
Yeah.
And so they settle.
Because they don't want to be alone. So deal with someone who you think doesn't love you, or be alone.
What's best? Only you can decide that, dear reader.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
On page 211, I wanted to summarize this buried lover's custom. I thought that was really strange. I had never heard of that.
Yeah.
And please add to it, Dee, because I have faint recollection of what it was. But there was some digging going around in their home.
Because he wanted to buy a property, right? And it was like a fixer-upper.
Yes.
And it was going to cost them money, but he felt this was the beginning of us being happy again.
Yes.
So she's telling this to the therapist, and she was hesitant, like, no, that's a lot of money, but he really wanted to move forward with it. And there was digging, and that's where they found this.
So I will read this part to you. The woman I spoke to said what we found was evidence of a 200-year-old ritual. If a married couple thought they were going to be separated forever, perhaps because of illness or war, they would bury a set of their clothes together under the floor of their home. They would leave money, sentimental objects, and something to eat and drink, and they would put linens over the top like a protective blanket to sleep under. Before covering the plot with earth and stones and replacing the flooring, which was likely to have been wooden boards back then, the husband and wife thought it was a way to guarantee they would find each other in the afterlife. Apparently, it's an ancient custom called the buried lovers. I think you should see it for yourself. So I guess they found items of this nature in this house they had bought that was a fixer-upper. So Abby did not. She wanted to be respectful of that ritual, but Grady did not. So further down the page, she says that Abby, the woman from the Heritage Committee, said that if you discover a pair of buried lovers, you have to leave them exactly as they were or put them back as best you can. If you separate them on earth, you will separate them in the afterlife. And if you steal their true love from them for all eternity, they will come back to steal yours and curse you with eternal loneliness. So Abby's theory is that, or I think she was sure that Grady moved them. And that's why their relationship was doomed. Their marriage was doomed, right? Because he disturbed these lovers.
He didn't respect this.
This ritual. 227.
Yes.
On this chapter is called Honest Thief. Again, I love these oxymorons. I can't get enough of them. I have a fun fact to share on page 227. The 3 basic fundamental fears that all humans experience. I was like, what? Fear of death. Me. Fear of abandonment. Maybe me. Fear of failure. I think me. What do you think? Right? I think we identify with most of those.
And outside, he experiences all 3 on a daily basis.
That's
a lot.
Yes, that is definitely a stressful way to live.
When he explains the fear of death, I fear death because I don't think I have achieved much with my life, and I fear I will be forgotten.
I just don't want to hurt. I want to die in my sleep. I don't
want
it to
the
hurt.
Pain.
Yes.
Yeah.
Most of the time, it hurts in some way. I just wonder what studies were done to conclude that these were the basic 3. And I was so engrossed in the plot that I didn't take time to research how it was determined that these were the top 3. 236.
Okay.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm 232. Sorry.
Okay.
We go back to Abby, still with the therapist, and she's talking about how I've been accused of being a workaholic all my life, but I think when you find something that you believe in and are passionate about, it does sometimes take over. I tend to beat myself up when I don't get things quite right. I so badly want to be good at what I do, but the determination to do better, be better, is sometimes overwhelming. And so it's going back to finding that balance, right? I get it when there's passion in your work, and it's great to love what you do, to get paid for what you love, but there's got to be a balance still. To have a healthy balance, right? 236?
236. Here, Grady is speaking And I'm not sure what we know up to this point, but here he confesses that he had a vasectomy and did not tell Abby about it because he really did not want to have children. So we have talked about this earlier, right? It's his body. Is it his decision, or do they decide as a couple?
Yeah.
And okay, let's say it's his decision. Is it okay to keep it from her, to withhold it from her? Because she was not giving up on being a mother. And we find out at some point here that she was pregnant, right?
So
yes.
So
are we there yet?
Yeah. So he leaves, right? He goes home after being in the pottery place with Aubrey. But he's still not content. He's like, no, that was her. And he goes to where she lives, because I guess he knows there was a card that he left that she gave him. Goes, and she's married. She does disclose this. She's married, her other half. He goes, and a woman, Travers, opens the door.
And before you go on, we still, we still think there's men in this island, right?
I
because
thought
of
so.
the names too.
Yeah,
They're very, gender neutral. And they refer to their partners as partners, not husband or wife. So then we see Travers is a woman.
It's
all
a
this
woman.
Time we thought this was a man.
Yeah.
Go on.
And because the profession was
it's here the gender stereotypical,
whatever it was,
what was
construction or something? I don't know.
Yeah, something like that.
And so he's like, sorry. He hears a baby cry. So he's like, wait, is this where? So she actually sees the card that she gave him, but now it's somebody completely different. So somebody's playing mind games with him.
Yeah.
And then he took the pamphlet out of the pocket one last time and stared at the owner of Beautiful Ugly. I blinked through my tears, but there is no denying it. The woman I met yesterday is not my missing wife. So you're like,
back and forth.
Was it her? Was it not her?
Grady is also driving us crazy.
Yes, exactly. And I think they say by now the baby that was crying, because this is the first time we hear of a baby on the island, right?
Yes.
That it is Abby. So you're like, it's been a year, right? So what page do you have?
258.
Oh, I have something on 253. It says, so I don't know who's speaking. What is the name of that chapter? It's Impossible Solution. So let's see. It says here, a few steps later, I can't see anything at all in all directions. The mist seems to be completely enveloped the island. And there's a mist that shows up.
Oh, yeah.
But quickly fades away. Then I hear the sound of children crying in the distance. I wish I didn't remember the story Sandy told me about the children of the mist. So there's this story of children who were under the care of this substitute teacher, right, from the mainland, but he went to go drink. So these kids left and they went to this cave where the tide came in, so they couldn't escape.
And I think there's an implication of sexual deviance of some sort by this substitute teacher. So yes, we did learn that there were children once upon a time on this island. And if you have access to the map on the book, they went to Dark Side Cave, which is in the southern part of the island. And like Lily said, they got trapped in that. The tide rose. And they were trapped and they drowned.
They drowned, yeah. And so he remembers that and he thinks he hears children crying and says, but I do. So I remind myself what my Nana always told me when I was scared as a child. There's no need to be afraid of the dead. It's the living you have to watch out for. And my mom would always say that.
Yes.
Don't fear the dead. Fear the people living here. And then it says Living Dead. Living Dead is the next chapter. Do you have anything else?
What page is that?
257.
Yes. Go ahead.
Okay, so where is he at now? He sees there's a congregation. There's women. Sandy is there. So Sandy is believed to have died.
Yes, and now she's not dead.
And now she's
that's
not
why
dead.
She's living dead.
And yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, that's why. And because the women, they're blaming him for letting Sandy die
in that same area in the Dark Side Cave.
Yeah, because
and why would he let her die, Lily?
Why would he let her die? Well, she goes there to mourn her daughter, right?
So her daughter drowned there.
Yes.
Yes.
Because her daughter was one of those children that died. So she goes there and she's mourning her daughter. And then she's like,
but also Sandy knows his secret.
Yeah, because she was Charles's friend. And she knew that he wrote book 10 and she read it.
Yes.
And if it was published, he was going to...
Everybody would know his secret.
Everybody would know his secret.
Book.
And then...
So he kind of just lets her drown. He doesn't rescue her, doesn't help her. He thinks nobody will know.
Yeah.
Because nobody was there.
Yeah,
but these women somehow know everything.
Yeah, they know everything. It's like a plot to drive him nuts. But there she is. She's standing right there. And she says, you look surprised to see me. I'm relieved, but lies, right? So we know she's alive. And then it says right here, who walks in? Abby walks in. His actual wife, not the woman
without the contacts or whatever.
Yes, exactly. So Sandy says, I will leave you. And so now he's thinking, is it the whiskey? And she says, hi, Grady. I think we need to talk. So now we know Abby is alive. What do you have?
On page, gosh, I'm covering my page. 359? 259, sorry.
Okay.
On 259, this chapter is also titled Happily Married. So this is after Abby disappears, and this is Abby speaking. She says, I used to love, but he always hated. Here's the thing. I don't even like fish and chips. I often found myself just going along with his choices to keep him happy, but that's my fault, not his. So how often do we do that in relationships, right? Where we do things to please our partners. And I just thought that, for you, dear reader, it's time to reflect, right?
Yeah.
If you're partnered up, have you found that happy medium? Or sometimes it's about that person and sometimes it's about you. I think that in a lot of unhappy relationships, one gives more than the other. And that is why they are doomed to fail. And that is what happened in this relationship, right? And I like that she takes ownership for that, right? She says, that's my fault. She should have said something, right? But how encouraging was he for her to speak up too?
Yeah.
He was so delusional. He thought they were happy. And it was far from that. Further down on that same page, I said, along the lines of that, the sacrifices we make for our partners, going back to the trauma that they carry from childhood. She says, it was his idea to move out of the city and live somewhere more rural. He thought it would help his writing, and I didn't want to get in the way of that. But I miss my friends, so sometimes I met up with them in London after work. Grady got jealous if I came home late. He seemed to think that me wanting to spend time with other people meant I didn't love him enough. It was as though he thought I only had enough love for one person, and he needed it to always be him. I get that he has abandonment issues because of his mom and dad, but everybody gets fucked up by their parents. It's almost a rite of passage. And at his age, I do think it's probably time he got over it. So I have two comments. One, again, how much do you sacrifice, right? Like she left the city for him to accommodate him. She's trying to check in once in a while with her former life, with her friends, and it bothers him. Like, let her be.
Yeah.
She already sacrificed enough by moving for you. And then the other part where she says that we all get fucked up by our parents. Is that true? I won't disclose too much. But, do our parents, again, beautiful, ugly, that is life, right?
Yeah.
They give us beautiful, but they also give us ugly because that's what the world is.
Yeah.
Beautiful, ugly.
Nothing is perfect,
Yes.
right? Our relationship.
I don't know where I read in some psychology book that we tend to hold on to the negative more than the positive. Like it takes three rights to erase a wrong. That seems like a lot.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Page 266. 3. That's it. 266.
Okay.
Here, I also love this quote. Abby says, I'll just read the whole thing so I can recall why I loved it. The story Sandy told you was true, says Abby. She's staring into the fire, which has begun to crackle and spit. Nobody can remember every moment of their own history. Our overburdened minds choose which highlights to hold on to and which files from our past to delete. So I thought that was pretty well stated, right?
Yeah.
It's funny how we can have the same experience but remember it differently. We choose what to highlight and we choose what to delete. So why do we hold on to the bad stuff if we can delete it?
Yeah.
Right?
And on the next one, stand down.
I get excited with these oxymorons.
Stand down.
Go ahead.
Abby is telling Grady that she didn't have an easy childhood, and now she's actually telling him she grew up on the island.
Yes, we found that was a surprise.
We're learning that.
Plot twist.
Yes, that Abby grew up on the island. She's telling about a time of a substitute teacher who came and who would bring a flask, right? And I think he was trying to take advantage of
once
her.
He was a bit drunk. He would.
Yeah. Wasn't he the piano teacher too or something?
Maybe.
Something about piano lessons. Anyway, so she left along with other kids, and one of them being Sandy's daughter. And they went to this cave. So the story of the children is true. And she actually survived. She is one of the survivors. And she doesn't like the water for that reason.
Yes.
There's that.
There's a connection, yes.
So now she's telling him why she's there, that she was born there, right?
What page are you on, Nini? 269?
260, yeah, somewhere.
I'm just going to add something because you just said it. On 269. When you said that she was afraid of the ocean, right? Now we know why. She says, I guess when I finally faced my fears, I discovered that I loved the thing that used to scare me. Fear can make something beautiful appear ugly. The ocean in her situation, right? So it's true. The ocean is beautiful. Look at it.
Yeah, it is gorgeous.
If you live a traumatic experience there, then it can make it ugly.
Yeah, it can make it ugly. And her godmother, being Kitty, took her from the island and took her to the mainland. So she pretty much raised her. So Kitty's also from the island.
Yes.
And page 270.
I'm there too.
The same one, probably.
Yes, go ahead.
Men still rule this world, and as a result, the world is broken. Men still hold most positions of power. Men control governments. Men control the media. And it is always men who start wars. Men have tricked women into thinking they see us as equals, but real equality for all women everywhere still feels like little more than a pipe dream. The women on this island have had enough. And that's when that's all women.
Okay, so I want to read this again because this is not an opinion. This is a fact. Men still hold most positions of power. Fact. Men control governments. Fact. Men control the media. Fact.
Yep.
It's always men who start wars. Fact. Not an opinion.
Right now. It's still happening. Look it up.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's the fact that it's tied
Richard
to current
is making
times.
faces.
I like it. Not a good thing.
288.
So I have something in 273.
Tough love.
Yeah, it's called Tough Love. So Abby is talking to. Well, let me see. It says, sometimes when people disappear, it's because they don't want to be found. I needed a fresh start. So she's telling him, I needed a fresh start. So I changed my name and started again, determined to become the me I knew I wanted to be. I'm old enough to know that tough love isn't real love. The truth is that my life without him was less lonely than life with him. And I know in my heart that I did the right thing. So she went missing on purpose. What do you have on page one?
I'm on 288.
Okay, so 276. So, and it says original copy. And he asked her, was the baby I heard crying at the croft and saw in the church yours? And she said, yes, Holly is my daughter. But she isn't mine. I already know that she can't be, but when Abby confirms it by shaking her head, I still feel a strange sense of loss. I do my best to compose myself. And are you really married to a woman? And she said, legally, no, I'm still married to you. But in my heart, the answer is yes. I met Travers here on Amberley, and I love her very much. So he knows that that baby is not his because...
Remember, we told you he had a vasectomy.
He had a vasectomy.
So now he's like, cheater, she cheated on me, and he's angry.
Yeah. And so she talks about that night when she is driving and sees the woman on the road. And it says here, why you waited for me to get out of the car, knowing I would always help someone in trouble. Why you grabbed... Oh, no, let me go back because that makes no sense unless I start from the very beginning. It says, then tell me why, Abby interrupts. Why what? Why you laid down in the road, in the dark, in the rain, wearing my red coat so that I presumed you were a woman. Why you waited for me to get out of the car, knowing I would always help someone in trouble. Why you grabbed me as soon as I was close enough, held a cloth soaked in chloroform over my mouth, then dressed me in my coat, dragged me to the edge of the road, and pushed me over a cliff. Why did you try to kill me, Grady?
Okay, we did not see that coming. He tried to kill her, and he's trying to convince us that he's this grief-stricken husband.
Yes, because from the beginning,
and he's searching for his wife.
Yes, and he
were fooled.
Searching for the wife, kind of like, oh, wanting to see her, but it made sense. Like, oh, he's afraid, actually, because if she's alive, he would say the truth.
Yeah.
Dun, dun,
he
dun.
tried to kill her in a jealous fit because he found out she was pregnant, and he assumed that she cheated on him.
Yes. And I don't know if you have anything else.
I do. I have a couple more posts.
Okay.
You want to go?
I have 302.
288.
Oh, go ahead.
Grady confesses to Kitty. Oh, this is where he tells us, I found a pregnancy test in the bin at home. It was positive. And he says, I had a vasectomy and to make sure that she didn't get pregnant. So I knew she had been cheating on me. She had been behaving strangely for months and was always coming home late. Abby was clearly having an affair. She was siphoning off money from our bank account and was secretly plotting to abandon me. It's all me. Have you noticed?
Yes.
Just like my parents did. Everyone I love leaves me in the end. I loved her so much, it hurt. All I wanted was for us to be alone together. And then further on, and then she says, Kitty, so you pushed her off a cliff. If she left me, so would you have. What do you mean? Don't tell me that you would have carried on being my agent if your goddaughter divorced me. You would have abandoned me too. It wouldn't have just been the end of my marriage. Abby leaving me would have meant the end of my career. But if she died, if it looked like she had killed herself like her mother did, then I thought you'd feel sorry for me and be my agent forever. So crazy. Like he was so selfish in the reason he did the things that he did. He was getting rid of his wife in a jealous fit, number one, because he's assuming she cheated on him and she's taking, their money. And because it'll save his career. He needs Kitty to be his agent.
Yeah.
Like, our sympathies are no longer with him. That's for sure.
No.
Finally.
Well, and when Abby explained that to him, and she said, yes, I took the money. I got pregnant through IVF because I thought if I told you, and her plan was to tell him the next day after he had the good news of being a New York best-selling author.
Still prioritizing him and his news over
to protect him.
Yes.
And to break the news to him the next day, hey, I did this. Because in her mind, she thought he was going to be like, okay, let's be a family. That's not the way it turned out. But I'm glad she had Kitty to protect her.
Yes.
And so...
And then all the women on the island.
Yeah, because it's like a community, right? And so...
It's all you now, Lily.
It's all me?
Yes, I will chime in.
So Kitty pretty much tells him, Abby and Kitty will tell him, you can't leave the island.
Yeah.
So he was given two choices because he found he has a plot of grave. There's a grave already dug out for him.
Yes, the hole is dug.
It's there with his name on it.
Easy,
so two choices. You
just climb in there.
Get in there. Or you stay and you write. You make money for us to help the community.
Yeah.
That way we don't have to open up the island for visitors year round. Because they do open it seasonal, so visitors can come and that's how they make their money. So, yes, 1 year later, we know the book, Beautiful Ugly, was a good book. It's making money. He's there to write. And there's a part, it says here, books are like children for authors. This is Grady. We're not really allowed to have favorites. But this book was mine. Despite everything, it's a story about an author. This is the book that he found that he made his own. He wants to leave, but for various reasons he can't. So he asks his readers for help by hiding a secret message in the book. I did the same thing as my character in Beautiful Ugly and hid a message for my readers to find. The first word and the first 14 chapters of the novel spells it out. Now that the book is published and in the world, I wonder if any of my readers have discovered the secret message yet.
We did.
Maybe someone will send help if they do.
So I'll read it, and then you can add me.
Yes.
So we went through all the chapters, the first word of the first 14 chapters.
Which, you know what? They weren't labeled, so we had to go.
It took longer than we thought.
Yeah.
If you are reading this, I am trapped on the island. Please help me. I didn't understand my writing. Please help me. That is his message.
That's his message.
Yes. So go on.
And so, but it really, it ends with him being, I mean, I don't know if he's hallucinating or it's very vague of him being in a coffin because one of his fears was being buried alive. And Alice did a good job of interpreting or for us to interpret whether he's hallucinating or he's just having a psychological breakdown or
they really did bury him alive.
Yeah, because maybe they found out that he put a secret message in the book.
And he wasn't supposed to do that.
No.
He was allowed to stay if he behaved.
Yeah.
And he misbehaved.
And he did.
So I am excited to see how the movie, because they're making a movie out of this book. It's barely going to, it's in the beginning stages. So how, if our imagination aligns to how it will be visually with the movie. So, yeah, guys, it was
a good one. Alice Feeney, thank you.
It was a good one.
Yeah, so Beautiful, Ugly. I definitely, and there was a lot more detail that we missed, obviously, because it'd be a long time, but the suspense, right? Reading it is like,
just want to keep going.
Yes. It's really good.
So, we make a habit of showing you our Post-its.
Yes.
But we will not throw them up in the air.
No, not
here.
here.
Because then they will fly into the ocean.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
And we don't want turtles to have them in their mouths.
No, we don't. Or the fish.
Whatever hangs out here.
Yeah.
So here they are.
Here's our discussion.
And we are saying goodbye.
Yes.
And I guess Richard will edit the rest of this when he gets up from his
Yeah, but you lost one over there. Look at
They're falling. Until next time, dear reader.
Thank you.
Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Oh, and if you have any suggestions for books,
yes, please send them our way.
Yes.